How you doing? Spooky Scary Sunday, and it looks like you're late. Oh, heck no. You think you about to waltz in here like you're on time? Wait, hold on. I know my eyes are deceiving me. Let me put my Easy Gang screeners on. Now available at... I'm looking at my time here, and everyone who's here within the first hour of the video being launched, I'm not talking to y'all. Matter of fact, let me give y'all a little clappy clap, because y'all was here on time. Not to the rest of you.
I thought we had an agreement.
Maybe it was just me. And I still don't think you're taking me serious. It's been a while since I had to reach for this. Show up on time and samurai slice the like button, alright? I don't like to be in this position. I don't like to threaten my own community. But I will. What's wrong with me? I'm sorry about that, guys. I think I just... It's a little stressed out lately, I guess. Hello? It's you, huh?
Tell me who I am.
Edward Norton.
Bingo. That's a good boy.
How long has it been, old pal? I haven't heard from you ever since, you know.
Haha, yes. How could I forget?
Let me out of here! Corey. No one can hear you. No one can hear your screams. No one can hear your cries. Yeah.
But hey,
Uh-huh.
I'm coming to end you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's nice. I gotta get back to work though. So, I'm sorry, but maybe we could talk another time. All right,
I'm serious.
catch you later. That guy. A Manchester horror story. I'm probably not gonna
This
pause.
is a story about how I became a 30-year-old male who is secretly afraid to be outside after dark in cities.
He's agoraphobe?
I live in Manchester, in the UK,
Okay.
and it's widely regarded as a relatively safe and multicultural city. Good transport, friendly locals, and plenty to do.
Okay.
I don't live there anymore, but I'm proud to be from there, and I will always have one hometown. This took place in 2016, and at the time
Good
I was
year.
working for a company that hired me to work
Fine.
on contracts.
You know.
So 4, 6, sometimes even 8 months abroad, and then 2 or 3 months at home.
Oh.
So when I was home, I made sure to see family and friends
Right.
as much as possible, whether it be meeting and playing video games,
Yeah.
a drink at the bar, playing sports, or traveling together.
Okay.
The incident took place when I was on my way home after a night out drinking,
What the freak?
and I write this 4 years on since it happened. I still have PTSD from the incident, and
What
think
happened?
of this as my way of telling you all to be careful out there,
Okay.
as well as this being an opportunity for me to talk
He
about
had
it.
a gash on his hand.
Those who know Manchester know about its quite frankly amazing tram system. It's affordable and easy to understand.
Right.
There is a tram station right near to my apartment, just outside the city center. I had been back in the country for 7 days and had arranged to meet my friends in the city for a reunion of sorts.
Nice.
Drinking, dancing, and catching up. You know how that goes.
Yeah, I do.
It's important to note at this point that at the time there was a homeless gentleman that adopted the tram stop near my apartment as his own.
Okay.
He would always sit at the top of the stairs leading down to the platform, and whenever I used the tram, I would always see him without fail. It had even gotten to the point where we exchanged a friendly nod to each other every time.
Cool.
But this time, on the way to the city to meet my friends, everything changed.
What happened?
On any normal occasion, he would be sitting under the shelter at the top of the stairs, either asking passersby for money or just saying hello. But
this
as I
time-
approached the top of the stairs, around 20 to 30 meters away, I saw him, and he stood up straight, almost too straight, with his chest out, just glaring right at me
Nah,
in
I'm
the
going the
most
other way.
menacing way.
Going the other way.
His brow was furrowed, his jaw was clenched, and he was breathing heavily.
Okay.
I could see his chest rising up and down with speed from now 20 meters away.
Ugh.
Maybe drugs was involved or something had angered him.
Yeah.
Why me? I thought.
Bro.
Now, I'm not the biggest guy in the world. I'm 6 foot and athletic, but I don't believe violence is...
6 foot and athletic? Yeah, I'm not the biggest guy in the world. I'm only 6 foot. If you 6 foot getting bullied, try again. You're doing it wrong.
I'm not the biggest guy in the world. I'm 6 foot and athletic, but I don't believe violence is the answer in any case.
Hey, I too, but
I'm
sometimes you
not
gotta resort to it.
at all.
Alright?
The way this guy looked at me sent shivers down my spine. I immediately looked down after we made eye contact, and then looked ahead, because I thought maybe
Man,
it
don't
was
look
just
away.
a glance from him.
I'm looking at you dead in your
Then,
eyes.
I looked
What you
back at
looking
him
at?
again, when I was even closer and his eyes were still on me.
Whoa!
This time they were wide, and he looked unhinged like he was ready to attack. I looked away again.
Y'all know what time it is. When I get into this stance, somebody about to wake up on a drug. What you think, I'm supposed to be scared of you? Huh? Corvette.
Because at this point, I felt I had to ready and prepare myself for a potential confrontation with this guy.
Sir, get ready. Don't
When I
look
was
away,
close
man.
to him, I looked back again, and he took a step forward, watching my every move, looking me up and down
He
as
really
if he was
feeling
assessing
froggy.
my weaknesses. As I approached the top of the staircase, he was turning his head as I moved. I knew that this was not normal behavior
Yeah.
from him, or anyone for that matter. I thought I have to address this, because he's freaking me out.
You already passed
so I
him.
stopped, met his gaze, and pointed my body towards him just before I went down the stairs.
Okay.
And I calmly asked him, "Is everything okay, mate? Can I help you with something?" Nothing. I got absolutely nothing as he looked into my eyes. I could hear his fast breathing at this point through his nose, and he looked like he was having some sort of episode. So I moved on and quickly went down the stairs.
Get out of there, man.
What the f has gotten into this guy? I thought. I almost felt bad for him. At the halfway point of the stairs, I looked behind me to see him standing at the top,
Bro,
looking down.
you feeling
directly
froggy?
at
Then
me
leave.
again. I could only describe the look he gave me as bone-chilling. He looked like a predator that had found his prey. I kept moving as I didn't know if this guy had a weapon or what his intentions were at this point. When I got to the bottom of the stairs, I turned around again.
Bro.
And to my shock, he had walked 4 to 5 steps down,
Whoa.
still standing and glaring at me with the same
Whoa.
disturbed and angered look. He was clearly stalking me now.
Yeah.
I could feel my heartbeat in my ears, and sweat was forming on my forehead and palms. Luckily for me, the
that?
platform was
Oh.
very busy, and the tram I needed to catch was approaching. So I quickly immersed myself amongst the crowd of people getting onto the tram and found a seat.
Bet.
Wouldn't you know it?
Simpson.
When I sat down and the tram started moving, I looked back towards the bottom of the staircase, and there he was, just glaring at me with this horrific,
Bro,
sinister
what?
grin on his face.
Who wronged you?
I did not feel safe. The entire journey to the city, I felt on edge, anxious, and all I could do was think about that guy. When I eventually got there, my friends automatically picked up on the fact that I seemed a little off.
Yeah.
So I told them about the situation I was just in, which they just dismissed, saying that I was probably just being paranoid and that he'll be gone by the time I get back home.
Well, why don't you come with me
I
then?
agreed with them because I realized that he is usually only there during the daytime, so I enjoyed the night. We all drank, laughed, and even met some cute girls. Before I knew it, I was hammered, to the point where I had to look at my phone with one eye closed. My balance was off, and I felt like I could throw up at any second. It was around midnight and time to go home, so I said goodbye to my friends and arranged to meet the next weekend due to the success of this one. The last tram was approaching, and I had to run drunk as a skunk to make it in time. I got onto the tram, and when I got a seat and caught my breath, I remembered what happened at the tram station on the way back to the city. I felt sober suddenly, and I was honestly on the verge of an anxiety attack, until I remembered that I never usually see the guy late at night,
Oh, you about
which
to
was
see him
comforting
tonight.
for the remainder of my journey. The tram arrived at my stop, and I got off. I just stood there for a second, surveying my surroundings. The platform was empty, The skies were clear, although dark. The air was warm, and the only sounds were the nearby traffic and the tram leaving the platform. I remember it like it was yesterday. I looked towards the bottom of the staircase on the platform leading to the street, and I took a deep breath. I approached the stairs and looked towards the top. Much to my relief, he wasn't there.
He laying down up there, so you can't see him.
Stage 2 was easy. Get to my building, which was about 150 meters away from the stairs.
Okay.
As I slowly walked up the stairs, trying to make as little noise as possible, my heart was in my throat. All I could think about was what I would do if he was there.
Bro,
I was drunk, and I didn't think fast enough. I arrived at the top and looked to my left, and what do you know? He's there. And as soon as I look at him, his head snaps, and he's looking me in the eyes with the same terrifying look, almost foaming at the mouth like he's won a prize.
Down.
He stands up slowly and turns to face his body towards me. At this point, I realized how tall he was. About 6'2", huge gray and dirty beard,
nothing.
Almost skinny with a lean body type. I was almost pissing myself. So to break the tension, I just nodded at him and told him, "Good night, mate," and I walked on quickly towards my apartment. I suddenly heard a deep, hoarse voice say, "You got any spare change?" Loud and obnoxious. Which I turned and replied quickly whilst I was walking backwards. "No, mate. Sorry.
Sorry.
Have a good night, though." And walked on again. I was free, and my anxiety was disappearing. All I was thinking about was getting to my building as fast as possible. Then, I heard what felt like the loudest, most aggressive voice ever. "Hey!" I stopped, and I turned around so fast because he made me jump and scared me. He was holding a knife, and it was pointed directly towards me.
Run.
The nightmare scenario was playing out now, and I held my breath as he walked slowly towards me.
Run!
I was definitely
drunk,
sober now, and
no,
I weighed up the options.
Run.
I run and take a risk, or I start to negotiate with him. I thought, there is an ATM nearby, I can get some money and just go home. He was around 5 meters away, with the knife pointing towards me.
Yeah, because you were letting him walk towards you.
I wasn't going to let myself die like this. He then said, "I'm going to ask you again. Do you have any spare change?"
No, I don't.
I couldn't tell whether I wanted to throw up or cry, but I had to get out of this situation. No one else was around that I could see or hear, and it was on me to get out of this. I said to him, "Look, there is an ATM." I couldn't even finish my sentence, because he had thrown the knife at my face. It hit me just above my eye, cutting me on my eyebrow, taking a chunk of skin clean off, and there was blood in my eye, partially blinding me, and there was blood all over my face almost immediately. I was blinded and breathless. I fell to one knee in shock, and I barely saw the knife in front of me on the ground through my drunken, shocked, and partially blinded state. So I reached for it as fast as I could. But it was too late. He had already picked it up and tackled me to the ground. I yelled a guttural and deep shout for help down the street as he tackled me, holding the knife. A sound I didn't know I was capable of making. But this
dude says something. That's the only sound that will probably just come out of you in an emergency situation. You never knew you could make that sound. Did you hear what I just produced? Never in my life have I made that sound.
Adrenaline was coursing through my veins now. He had the knife in his right hand and plunged it down towards my face. And the only thing I could do was put my hand away. I screamed in pain as the guy was on top of me. He had put the knife clean through my hand, in between the knuckles of my middle and index fingers, to be specific. I started to push back, realizing how much stronger I was than him. The tip of the blade was about 5 inches from my face, and then a miracle happened. I heard the voices of a group of people yelling, "Hey, stop!" accompanied with their fast-running feet towards me on the tarmac. The guy's grip on the knife was weak suddenly, and he looked behind himself, clearly seeing the group approaching. They shouted again, yelling, "Get off him!" And he jumped off of me. Unfortunately for me, he took the knife with him and ripped it out of my hands as he jumped to his feet and swiftly ran into the nearby woods. There were 5 people in total who came to my rescue. 2 of them initially chased the guy into the woods before I shouted, "No, he has a knife!" And hearing me say this, they let him go and started to call the police.
That dude look like Naruto.
This incident changed me for the better, and I wake up every day appreciating everything in my life. After the incident, I was rushed to the hospital and I had surgery to reattach the nerves in my hand 2 days later. The guy who attacked me is in prison now for attempted murder.
Good.
The police showed after the incident within 5 minutes, and full credit to them. They found the guy hiding in the woods, still holding the knife behind a tree, and they managed to subdue and arrest him on the spot. He was on a cocktail of drugs, and he openly admitted to the police that he fully intended to kill me if he had the opportunity. But this incident was simultaneously the best and worst thing that ever happened to me.
How?
The best, because I appreciate life so much more now. I talk to those I love every single day. All life is precious. Tomorrow is not guaranteed, and we are all mortal. Stay safe and alert, and do not waste a moment, as you don't know who's going to be waiting around the corner.
Yo, he was speaking facts at the end, though. That was amazing. Stories from our good pal Llama Arts. Y'all know we gotta get a Llama Arts in, alright? It's called A Bus Stop Horror Story. Let's get it. Let's get it. Man, I'm hungry.
This happened when I was 17 years old. I would go to the gym 3 to 4 times a week and ride the bus home. It was a Sunday and I had just missed my bus, so I had to wait longer for another one.
Ooh.
I would have called my parents, but they were out for the evening, and taxis charged more, so I decided to sit and wait in the bus shelter. It was a cold night, and snow had just started peppering the ground.
Is that the theme?
My bus was taking longer than usual, so I got my phone out and listened to some music. Almost an hour had passed. It was freezing and I hadn't seen anyone at all. That was until I noticed something out of the corner of my eye. It was a creepy guy dressed in thick layers of clothing.
Right. We gonna pause it right here. Nah. Corey, zoom in on his face. Listen. Okay, first of all, this man was at the bus stop for an hour. Sucker, you could have walked home at this point. But listen, you see a man coming towards you, it's nighttime, you outside by yourself, and he look like this. Corey, zoom in on him again. Look at this man. He has nothing to lose, okay? You got your freaking earpods in, you got your fade. He is about to rob and kill you. So you already know. You already know I got the antidote for him. If you want to try something, sir, I got the antidote for you, okay? If you want to come over here and try something, go ahead and try it. And yes, I carry this around in my book bag, all right? If I was him, first of all, I wouldn't have been sitting there for no hour. But if I was, for some reason, maybe my leg broke. I ain't about to eat these buckshots, all right?
Walking slowly towards me. I knew staring at him would draw more attention, so I just focused on my phone.
Bro.
He sat down at the other end of the shelter
Look
and
at
stared
him!
at me. There was
Hey. What you over there listening to?
something off about him. He seemed like he was either drunk or on drugs. He then asked,
When is the bus due?
I took out my earphones and said,
I think it's delayed because of the snow.
He stared at me for a while, then started mumbling to himself. He was really starting to creep me out, so I pretended to be on my phone. After a couple of minutes, I took another look. He'd moved closer to me.
Bro, get
I
up!
looked away for a second, then heard the sound of him sliding even closer.
Oh!
I turned to him and said,
You okay there?
He stared at me with glossy eyes, lifted his arm and leaned towards me. Immediately, I grabbed my bag and ran as he fell to the ground. I ran down the road, trying my hardest not to look back. I kept going until I got to the next bus stop. I turned around to check to see if he was there. He was gone, so I went to sit down. Feeling relieved, I rested my head on the back of the glass and waited for the bus.
Bro.
I jolted and turned around to see the same guy staring at me through
Are you
the glass.
serious?
What the hell is wrong with you?
Then he started walking around the shelter towards me.
Bro, get up!
I'm warning you, stay back.
I yelled in panic as I was backing up. I wanted to run, but I left my bag in the shelter and I couldn't leave without it.
I wanted to run, but I couldn't run without my backpack.
What you got, the T-virus in there? You got freaking nuclear codes? What is in this bag that's worth your life? Bro, my baby could be in that bag. I'm hitting him with the swim move and I'm out.
Suddenly, the man leaped at me and I quickly moved out of the way. He fell to the ground face first.
Gosh.
I froze in shock, then noticed the blood coming from his face. I tried to get a response out of him.
It's like a
but
body
nothing
himself.
worked. I called the police and paramedics and they arrived shortly after. I told them what had happened and they told me that the guy was on prescription drugs. They found a photo in his wallet of him and his son. The boy looked just like me, so we assumed he thought I was him. I later learned that he had lost his son in a custody battle and went off the rails. He was taken away for treatment, and that was the last I saw of him.
Dang.
I got my driver's license shortly after, and have never been on a bus since.
Yo, that took a sad turn. My mans was just trying to get his son back. Okay, Llama Earth with the merch. His first video is called Disturbing True Snapchat Stories Animated. The video link and channel will be in the description. Llama Arts, I'm just a fan here, okay? I'm sure your work's gonna be amazing. Please don't copyright strike me. Your boy doesn't have Snapchat, but I do have Instagram. Follow me, ladies, DM. Ooh. Disturbing True Snapchat Stories.
This happened a week ago. Up until a few days ago, I went to a small, local gym in my now previous New Jersey town called Black Bear Fitness.
I like the style.
One day, I had the misfortune of running into some skinny, awkward, yet creepy-looking kid, probably 18 years old. He didn't look like he belonged in a gym at all.
He don't.
I had headphones in and I was doing my set when I heard him saying something to me, but it was muffled by the music. I was already annoyed with this kid, given that he was breaking an unwritten rule of the gym. Don't try to talk to somebody when they're doing their sets.
Right! Leave my man alone!
I took my time finishing my set, and then took my headphones out to ask if he needed something. Then he started acting like I looked familiar, but right away I knew this kid was just trying some pathetic attempt at making friends. I assured him I didn't, but the kid wouldn't stop talking to me. I'll skip most of the conversation, but eventually he actually asked me for my Instagram and...
Y'all know something is wrong here, right? Look at my man Kicks.
Yikes.
That's step one. My man got some sort of sandal with socks on. Don't even stop there. My man been wearing them socks for a couple weeks now. Your hair looks sweaty. You got a long sleeve on. Take something off, man. But so far, I'm liking this. Hold up.
and Snapchat, weirdly enough, and for whatever reason I gave them to him. Instead of just saying something like, buddy, I'm trying to work out, or I don't have social media. After I gave him my Snapchat and Instagram, however, I did kind of urge him to let me resume my workout.
Why did you give
He finally
a stranger?
seemed to get the message and walked away.
He gave a stranger.
Not without saying bye like 3 times though.
Oh, you're weird, man. You're awkward.
That night I got a snap on my phone saying from Sean.
No.
I immediately sighed.
What do
and
you
said,
want?
"Oh, no." Just wondering why the hell the kid would snap me.
Right.
I opened the snap and the kid was in a...
Yeah. Yo! Somebody get that man! Okay, if you're a straight dude sending another straight dude poses like this, sit down, chief. We gotta have a chat. Hit him with the... Just got out of the bath. You gave a stranger your Snapchat. Nah. Y'all can follow my Instagram, though. I'll wait. Hey, we trying to get the numbers up, yeah?
A creepy, weird pose, face way too close to the camera, with his head resting in his hand and a half smile on his face. The text over the picture was "Hey" with 2 Y's.
Hey with 2 Y's. Y'all know what that means, right? I used to talk to this girl. I ain't gonna say her name because I'm pretty sure she watched my videos. But every time I sent her hey with the 2 or even the 3 Y's, yeah, do you know what time it is, Gat?
I muttered the words, "What the f***?"
Oh, yeah, that is.
For the record, I'm a guy, which made this even more weird.
I understand.
My thought process was, I've had enough of this loser already. I'm gonna remove him and make it clear I don't want to talk if I see him at the gym again.
Okay.
And so I did. I removed him minutes after he sent that snap.
You're done. That's it. Out.
I'm sure not even a minute later, again, a message popped up on my phone saying Snapchat from Sean.
Yeah, you gotta get blocked.
I waited a few minutes before opening it. This one was even creepier. Now the kid was sitting up on his bed.
Oh,
no smile,
heck no.
more of a surprised, angry expression. The text over the image said, "Why did you remove me?"
No.
Now I went as far as to block him, meaning he couldn't snap me anymore.
Get that block work, boy.
And that was that.
We
I
done.
threw my phone on the desk and sighed out of relief.
Oh, man, that's...
Half an hour later, my phone goes off, saying Sean added you as a friend, and then Snapchat from Sean.
What?
He actually made a new account. I opened the snap and felt my heart drop. It was a picture of my front lawn. The text over it, "Answer me,
Guys, my eyes are watering. Stuff like that really creeps me out. He sent a picture of my man's house. I'm really into creepypastas. I tell you guys that all the time. There are so many stories where like someone's talking to somebody online and then they send like a picture of their front door. Yo, that junk.
It was a picture of my front lawn. The text over it, "Answer me,
We gotta get the 347.
The first thing I could think of was,
357.
how did he find my address? Then I realized, Snapchat made that new map feature that lets you see where your friends are.
What?
Somehow I had the balls to open the window to see outside. It was clear out there. I shut the window and the blinds and started considering calling 911.
Do it! Get the pump action!
It was the sound of taps on the window. I took a deep breath, and with one swift motion, I pulled up the blind and the window at the same time and pulled the kid into my room by his neck.
Oh!
I
Go to
punched him in
sleep!
the face a few times before he was out cold. Now
No
I
man
called
handled this like a
911.
savage!
By the time they arrived, he was awake, cursing me out, promising he'd be back and kill me.
Oh my gosh. Now
The
you
cops
gotta
heard
move.
it all. I didn't even have to make a case. The kid was an idiot. Luckily, the timing of this worked out well, because I just moved a couple days ago out of state. Only thing that worries me, I don't want to have to make a new Snapchat account, but anytime somebody new adds me on the app, I'll never know if it's secretly that Sean kid again.
Yo, that is so creepy! That's a whole story? Oh, man. These things are crazy! Yeah, let me hit that subscribe one time. So does Llama Art do the narration? No, Mr. Nightmare. So Llama Art takes audio from people that do like creepypastas or scary stories, and then Llama Arts animates it? That's fire. Can we clap it up for the guy in the story actually just pulling my guy in? Go to sleep! Next one is called Abduction Horror Story, and it was uploaded by our good friend, Llama Arts. Oh, snap.
My name is Josh Roberts, and it's been a year since I was abducted.
What?
I remember it like it was yesterday. I was walking home from school. It was about 6 p.m. and there was a full moon and a chill in the air. I stepped off the bus, and for the first time, someone else got off with me. I'd never seen this new kid at school before. I could hear footsteps behind me. I took a quick glance and saw the kid walking at a brisk pace.
Let me help y'all out. all right? Because I done been in this situation before. You walking somewhere and somebody is a little too close behind you. So here's what you do. I'm giving y'all life tips. This is exactly what you do. Walking, right? You take your phone out. You act like it went off. So you walking. You notice somebody behind you, right? You're like, hey, man, he kind of close. Act like your phone going off. Hey, hello? And then when you pick up, you just... Yeah, hello? Yeah, I got a bad signal. Dude, I'm right at the corner. Oh, I see you. I'm just giving y'all tips. Otherwise, you could just turn around and put your paws up. That's not a bad option either. Turn around. Hey, what you want? Huh? And then if they really didn't want anything, then the worst thing that happened is you just yelled at a stranger. But if they there for something else, you better be stronger than me, boy. And you're not. You ain't about to kidnap me, my same height and weight. Man, Shaq couldn't kidnap me. I'm biting your ear.
I thought he was following me, so I took a left, which wasn't my usual route. I looked around again and saw him take the same left.
See?
My heart started pumping and
Turn
my
around
legs
and
started
check him.
shaking at the sound of the footsteps as they got louder and faster.
For real?
I then panicked and started running.
No, don't.
I remembered a shortcut in the nearby forest to my neighborhood.
Check him.
So I ran as fast as my legs could carry me.
Hey kid, wait up!
No!
Heavy voice from behind me. I tried
Leave
my
me
hardest
alone!
not to stumble on the logs and boulders in my path. I could hear the sound of sticks and leaves being broken by some fast, heavy footsteps. My legs started throbbing as the adrenaline wore off, so I took a detour towards a playground. I stopped to catch my breath, looking around for somewhere to hide, then went silent. I was doubtful that I lost him. I took my phone out to call the police when I spotted a local news article. Caution, there is a suspicious man on the loose.
Oh
He escaped
my
the local prison
goodness.
and assaulted an officer. Beware, he may look like a teen, but he is in his 20s. If you see him, call 911 immediately and lock your door. My mind started rushing with thoughts. I started to panic. All of a sudden, someone started choking me
at
with their
this.
arm. I tried to fight back, but they were so strong, I didn't stand a chance. My feelings of hope began to diminish as I slowly blacked out.
Wouldn't have called me like that.
I awoke to find myself in a dark, damp room that looked like a basement. The floor was hard and cold. There were no windows, but there was a staircase and a bathroom. I tried to move, but I was tied up with a thick rope.
Yeah, I got him. How much was the deal? 200?
Listen, you gotta do a little better than that. Okay, fine. You'd better bring the right amount.
Or you'll be tied up like that kid.
What? Are they selling me?
Oh yeah.
The guy sounded mad and anxious
Tried to bust
with
it
whomever
wide
he
open
was
for
talking
somebody.
to. Right after he hung up, he opened the door and walked down the stairs with an evil smile. "Let go of me!" I exclaimed as he taunted me. My arms started to fall asleep due to the tightness of the rope. He came closer to me and I spat in his face. He looked.
Savage mode. One thing I was about to say, if somebody kidnap you and they don't have a mask on, you're probably gonna die. They ain't about to let you walk up out of there with their identity. Your best option is some sort of sneak attack.
at me in sheer rage.
Oh!
Then the doorbell rang, followed by pounding on the door. The guy grabbed some tape and shut me up before I could scream for help. He
Lick it.
slowly backed off,
Get that off
signaling me to keep quiet, and ran towards the front door.
Man, I'm licking
I
it.
looked around, trying to see what I could use to untie these ropes. I spotted a rusty, sharp edge sticking out of the wall.
Be careful.
This was my one hope. I successfully
tetanus.
got up and tried with all my might to reach it. As I was trying to cut the rope from my hands, I could hear the commotion upstairs getting heated. I managed to free myself from the ropes when I heard the front door slam.
Let's go.
The silence was terrifying.
Get the
I was
move
frozen
off.
in fear. Footsteps started coming towards the door. I choked and shuffled back to my original position, arms behind my back, wrists tightly locked together.
Sneak attack.
Now where were we? Said the man. He
Sneak
walked
attack.
towards me, grabbed my ankles, and started dragging me when the phone rang. He dropped me instantly and charged upstairs. I wasn't going to lose this opportunity. I untied my feet, grabbed the
Yep.
closest thing to me, and hid
Yep.
behind some boxes. Now where did you go? He said as he stampeded
Smirk you in
down the
the back of the
stairs.
head.
I heard him getting closer to where I was hiding. I bolted up from behind the boxes and saw him checking the bathroom. As he walked out, I struck him over the head with a pole. He stumbled and fell to the floor.
Woo! I'm hitting him again!
Red pooled around his head. I ran upstairs and out the front door. I stumbled my way to the closest house, screaming. A woman thankfully opened the door. She was shocked and fearful when she saw me. The police were called and I was rushed into the hospital. They're still looking for that man, even to this day.
Alright guys, this next one is called Hitchhiking Horror Stories Animated. I am an avid non-supporter of hitchhiking. Hitchhiking Horror Stories.
3 months after I turned 16 in 2005, I got my first car, a 99 Toyota Camry. On a warm Saturday night, when my friend Alex invited me over to one of his friend's big parties, I knew I wouldn't be in a condition to drive the Camry home afterward. We carpooled with Alex's girlfriend, Brianna. We lived in the countryside of Virginia, meaning less big parties. Meaning when there was a big party, it was a huge deal and everyone would go. We lived about 5 to 10 minutes away from this kid's house. I knew where he lived as I was acquainted with him, but not exactly friends. The whole ride there, we took the same 2-lane highway type road through the woods, and this kid's house was actually on this road further down. At certain points on this road, there were a few houses on either side, and then it would just go back to being a long, empty highway again.
Okay.
The house was tiny, like a lot of houses around the area, but the party was held outside anyways, since his closest neighbors were relatively far away, and noise wasn't an issue.
Dope. Let's get it.
I'll skip most of the party up until the point that Brianna, who was supposed to be our designated driver, had to suddenly leave for a small family emergency. Alex said it was fine and that we'd find a ride home. Well, fast forward another few hours and another few drinks, and I could barely even walk straight.
Hey.
I checked my watch, and it was like 2 in the morning. I figured it was time to go. I started looking for Alex, but I couldn't find him anywhere. In fact, it seemed like everybody I knew had already left.
Oh no.
I could barely even think straight, but I was still furious at the fact that Alex could have actually left without me. I asked to use the party host's phone and dialed Alex's home number. After 2 tries, I gave up and then realized I shouldn't wake his family up. So, literally not knowing what else to do,
kind of friend you go to a party with where he'd leave and forget about you? It's 2 a.m. Narrator is toasted. He can't drive home. He don't know nobody else at the party. If y'all ever go to a party and you drunk and you just can't get a ride home, you don't got cash for Uber, call me before you hitchhike, all right? Oh, you need my cell phone number? All right, it's 73-800-588-2300 Empire.
Today, I dizzily stepped out onto the road and began walking back home. I knew this walk would take anywhere from half an hour to an hour in my condition. Maybe after 15 minutes of walking down the road, the slight shine of car headlights on the road was fading in from behind me. Jumping for joy inside, I lifted up my arm and stuck out my thumb.
Why?
As the car neared, it slowed down and came to a stop.
You never know who is pulling up.
The man driving the '98 Ford Explorer rolled down the window and asked where you headed. I told him my house was just down the road and beyond a right turn, probably slurring my words beyond comprehension.
You know he drunk.
He chuckled and told me to hop in. I thanked him and joyously hopped into the truck. I was exhausted, and I remember completely disregarding things the guy was asking me because I was so close to just passing out. And that's what happened.
No.
The memories of being in that truck turned to a fog, as I'm sure I passed out.
You passed out in his car? Oh my gosh, this dude can take him anywhere.
The next thing I remember, I woke up still in the moving truck. The guy looked at me and laughed, but didn't say anything. I looked around.
What are you laughing at?
The road we were on wasn't familiar. I nervously asked, where are we going? He then said, so what were you doing out this late anyway?
Answer my question!
As the man answered my very straightforward question with another irrelevant question, the sobering reality of the situation hit me. You can let me out anywhere, I told the man. The man
You have no idea where you are!
No. I felt like throwing up as he said that. No, I really actually felt like I was going to throw up. I started to gag as I felt more and more nauseous by the second.
Yeah.
The man took his eyes off the road to look at me, and that's when I thought of the perfect distraction.
Yes.
I turned in his direction as I continued to gag, and he started to kind of lean away and slow down the car.
He like, oh. He kidnapped some dude. He started freaking barfing. He's like, oh, dude next to him. I just started spazzing. My dude be like, oh, oh, oh.
Thankfully, I drank as much as I did because I finally threw up and made a point of doing it all over the man's lap.
Yes.
The man yelled in frustration and stopped the car, and that's when I took it upon myself to run for my life into the woods and duck behind a few bushes.
He hit him with the throw up finesse.
The man came following into the woods with a flashlight, and on 2 separate occasions, he shined the light straight over me without noticing. Eventually, I heard his footsteps walk even further into the woods past me. That was when I ran back to his truck, but unfortunately, he was smart enough to lock it.
Oh, freak.
By some miracle, I saw another car approaching in the distance, and I ran out into the middle of the street, waving my arms like a lunatic.
Yes.
The car tried to avoid me, but I wouldn't let it. They were forced to stop, and I yelled at them to help me before they came back. Once I told them that I was kidnapped by the man who was driving that Ford Explorer, the driver agreed to give me a lift. Not to the police station or anything, but to my house. I made it back safely, where I couldn't thank the driver enough.
Thank you.
I immediately woke up my parents and told them. My dad wanted to know if I got his tag number, and then I felt like punching myself in the face. I failed to get the simplest information from the guy that would have allowed me to actually properly report him.
Dang.
All I knew was that he drove a faded blue '99 Ford Explorer. I made sure to give Alex a piece of my mind, and part of me always held a grudge against him ever since, just for abandoning me at a party without telling me.
When I see you at school tomorrow, you getting creamed. Take that as you will.
I haven't seen him in 4 years now, however, and this was actually the first time I even thought about this incident for almost a year now. As time goes on, even the worst of memories may start to fade. But after writing this to share with the internet, it's once again fresh in my mind.
That music. Yo. Clap that up. Llama Arts and Mr. Nightmare, which I learned is the narrator, or the narrator. It's like a 2-hit combo. Mr. Nightmare is dope at the freaking narration, and then Llama Arts just brings it to life.
This happened a few weeks ago when I was walking home from school, excited that my freshman year was coming to an end. It was a Tuesday night when I was turning in my last essay for history. I left it to the last minute, and the teacher actually made me complete it before I could go home. I hated my teacher for that. Around 8 p.m., I had finished that essay and was walking home. The rain had stopped, and there was a beautiful sunset. Suddenly, I noticed something. There was a red 2016 Toyota Camry right behind me. I got goosebumps thinking it was following me. I didn't look back, and started walking in my apartment's direction. I wanted to go to a busy road to feel safer. Just then, the car sped up, stopping right next to me.
Oh,
a middle-aged man asked me where I was headed and suggested to drop me off. I said no thanks, but the man wouldn't leave and insisted. I wanted to tell the man to just fuck off, but I took off running instead.
There you go.
I heard a loud noise and at the same time felt something I can only describe as a sharp vibration hitting my flesh.
Got tased.
I fell to the ground not knowing what happened. Out of adrenaline, I was about to get up and run again as I felt a heavy arm grab me by the mouth.
No.
Then the pain set in. I realized that I was shot.
Dang!
There was another man next to him that searched my pockets.
Oh, this guy's
He grabbed my phone and threw it on the ground as he tied my legs and taped my mouth. They quickly put me into the trunk of their car and then started driving.
Oh my
I
god.
could feel that we were going very fast, and I'm sure that we hadn't stopped at all for a good 30 minutes. I was feeling my blood soaking into my shirt, which scared me the most. I was certain that I was going to die. I was thinking about my parents and what they would feel when they heard that I was missing. Then the car came to a stop. By some miracle, I heard a police officer asking for IDs and driver's licenses.
Let's go!
I wanted to yell for help, but nothing came out. Just then, I heard 3 to 4 gunshots. I heard an—
Oh my gosh! Stay out there busting! Yo, first of all, if your tape is... Calm down. If your mouth is... I'm just trying to give y'all escape tactics, alright? You gotta get that tongue out, girl. And you gotta lick all the tape, man. If you do that, poof! Please don't take this out of context. You gotta lick all around, poof! That tape is gone. Help! Help! Yo, hold up.
But nothing came out. Just then, I heard 3 to 4 gunshots. I heard another cop yelling, "Man down! Man down! Shots fired!" I was begging the cop to find me. Then I heard the cop searching the car. I was feeling joy as my pain was growing worse. Seconds felt like hours. The officer then opened the car's trunk and suddenly started firing at me out of a fight or flight response. Thankfully, the bullets missed. The officer quickly caught up to the fact that I was kidnapped and injured.
And he looked like the type of cop that'd do that. Y'all know what type of cop I'm talking about, right? The one with the big... He got big teeth. Can't even close his mouth. What's going on over here? Is everything alright? You know how fast you were going there, boy? Does anyone need help over here? You need help! Somebody need help! Sir, it looks like you need help!
He called for backup immediately, and it arrived in minutes. They placed the injured officer onto a gurney and drove off in an ambulance. Finally, when the scene was safe, they called another ambulance for me. I woke up in the hospital. The news media was everywhere. I was fine after a few days, but later learned that the officer that was shot didn't make it.
Dang.
I don't know if those men are still alive or rotting away in a prison for killing an officer. I don't want to know what would have happened if those officers hadn't stopped the car.
Dang. Bro, it's not safe on these streets. I'm trying to tell y'all. My dude was just walking home, and then on some get out stuff, somebody just pulled up right next to him, shot him. Dang, what was your plans for him? You could have just killed him. If you're walking anywhere, please walk with someone. I mean, I know it's Halloween. You pay attention to your surroundings, all right? If you're going out trick-or-treating, drinking, whatever you're doing, take a group. If you're sipping a little lean and your head's not right, make sure you're around some people you trust, okay? Your boy Corey cares about your safety, all right? I'm not trying to come off as your dad or nothing, but I kind of need y'all, all right? Y'all watch my videos. It pays my rent, so I don't need none of y'all getting bodied tonight. We haven't watched the llama arts in a minute.
This happened in April of 2021.
Okay.
My region hadn't been hit so hard by COVID, so most aspects of our lives were normal. I had graduated in 2020 and I needed a job. I was 18 at the time, almost 19. I wasn't studying and I didn't know what the hell to do with my life. So in March, I got a job at Pizza Hut as a delivery driver and kitchen hand.
Respect.
The night...
I know some of y'all 18, 19, 20, young 20s. Y'all in that stage where it's like you graduated high school, maybe you want to go to college, maybe not. You just don't really know what you want to do. But respect to this guy and anybody who at least is working, at least is putting together a plan. It's okay to not know what you want to do, but as long as you're making moves, all right, you're out here at least trying to grind something to get closer to where you want to be, much respect. You think this dude want to work at Pizza Hut, sweeping the freaking dirty floors after people? But that's just a temporary situation. Let's see what happens with this guy.
It seemed normal. It was one of those days that didn't seem like anything interesting would happen, but those are always the days when the unexpected happens, you know?
Yeah.
It was around 10:30 on a Saturday night. We closed at 11, so it was just me and my boss during the last hour.
Okay.
As usual, we got a late order. It was close, and I had finished mopping and sweeping the floor, so it was no hassle. My boss was always prepared for a million orders to come at the last minute, so he asked me to do it as fast as possible.
Right.
The restaurant was located in a plaza on the main road. The traffic was consistently heavy on a Saturday, so I avoided the main road and took the side exit. Even though the plaza was in one of the busiest parts of town, this street, however, was always so dark and empty. This street was also really long, so all you could see were the traffic lights about 500 meters ahead.
Dang!
Something was confusing me though, like my eyes were playing tricks on me. There was this black shadow blocking part of the lights, and there was this metallic object shining in the light above, bobbing up and down like it was floating. As I got closer, I could see the bottom of this dark silhouette. It looked like it was walking. So I approached with caution, preparing to brake or swerve. I got close enough to see this person was dressed in a long coat with a hood similar to a cowl,
I can see.
which is unusual where I live.
Is that death?
I turned my car lights on bright and honked my horn, hoping that they'd move to the side or something. But they didn't even flinch.
Bro.
Finally, I got close enough to see that it was some asshole dressed as death.
What is my dude honking at him for? He's on the sidewalk.
Bruh.
He's not even in the street. Like, we got Grim from Billy and Mandy over here. He just minding his business. You're just a non-driver, that's all.
Carrying a scythe. Something was odd, though. People, even if they are on the sidewalk, usually look over their shoulder at an approaching car.
I mean, they don't have to.
They didn't. As I drove past, however, this person ever so smoothly looked right into the window of my car on the driver's side. It gave me such a fright, like when people clap in your face. I passed them too quickly to see their face, let alone see what gender they were. After I passed them, I looked into my rearview mirror trying to see them, but it was so dark. I stopped at the traffic lights, and that's when I started to panic. I remember those scary clown guys who used to block people's path and tap on car windows.
They could get ran
so
over.
I went through the red. No one was on this road anyway. I pulled over to the side and tried calling the cops at the station, just in case some—
What? Bro, you mean to tell me this is a male Karen? At the very least, we got somebody dressed as the Grim Reaper, standing on the sidewalk, minding their business, not doing nothing, and then they just give you a quick little glance. You got a little scared because you all... If you would have just kept your eyes on the road to begin with, you probably wouldn't even seen them, much less paying like 99% of your attention to them. Now you gonna call the cops? This is crazy so far.
somebody hits them, but no one answered. I remembered my boss told me to hurry, so I just went on with the delivery.
Deliver your pizza, bro!
I got to the house and parked on
got
the
the
side of
Llama
the
Arts.
road, and I gave the people their pizza. It's always awkward handing over the pizza in silence, so to make conversation, I told them what I saw.
Bro, this protagonist delivering a pizza? What do you mean it's awkward? Bro, take your freaking pizza. Yeah, that'll be $17.84. Take the money, go. This dude was like... There was a guy over...
They laughed and said that it was probably someone making a TikTok. I laughed as well. I guess it was a pretty good prank.
Bro,
I got in my car and went to start it,
behind home.
but I couldn't find the keys. I checked outside my car as well, but I couldn't find them. I searched for ages, but no luck. I started to panic and kept thinking about that person I saw on the street. I jumped into my car and locked it from the inside. I almost started crying when I heard jingling. I looked to my right to see that person dressed as Death, holding my keys, staring into my window. I felt everything in my body pulsating.
Now
but I couldn't move.
we can be scared.
It was like they were staring into my soul. Eventually, I started acting on instinct. I don't remember thinking or doing it. but all of a sudden I was holding down the locks inside my car. My car is small and only has 2 doors, so I could easily reach across and hold both the locks down. They started spamming the car remote and trying to open the door. I was using all my energy to hold down those locks. I don't think I'd ever used so much effort and strength before in my life. All this time, I couldn't take my eyes off them. This person, this thing, standing over my car with a scythe. I knew that if they got in, I wouldn't stand a chance. The shadow from the hood hit their face. Was this even real? They stopped trying to get in and just looked at me. I started screaming out of exhaustion, and I became dizzy. My vision was blurred.
Bro.
There was a silence, and then about 10 dogs started barking close by. This gave me hope. While leaning on the scythe, they lowered their body and put their face only a few centimeters from the window. Finally, I could see this person had covered themselves with a skull mask. We both froze and just stared at each other. I couldn't help but look into their eyes. The eyes. There was something unnerving about them. They didn't look like they were holding in laughter, like it was a prank. Through this creepy skull mask,
that's creepy.
I saw that they just looked curious, like how a little kid looks at an animal in the zoo. I shut my eyes and started calling for help. I had been screaming for so long, why couldn't anyone hear me?
Bro.
I feared.
He's still in a driveway of the house he just delivered the pizza to, right? Here's what I'm about to do. Now, I got like the reflexes of a cornered cheetah, okay? He's like stretched out, got his foot on the passenger door. I'm turning, opening the door, doing a quick spin out of the freaking car while I'm airborne, hitting a quick tatsu to close the door, running to the freaking front door of the house that I'm at, lowering my shoulder, crashing through, running up the stairs, doing a front flip into the bedroom of the family of the pizza I just delivered, landing in the center of the 2 people that are in the bed, and I'm gonna be like, the door.
What?
I'm telling you.
I remembered my phone had Google Assist. With my hands still in the locks, I tried my luck and said, "Hey, call 000." It worked.
What's that?
And my phone contacted emergency services. I could not
Is that
describe
real?
the feeling I got hearing the voice of the operator on the other line. I heard the blunt jingle of keys dropping. I opened my eyes, and the person dressed as Death had disappeared. I tried looking around, but I didn't want to move. I just spoke to the lady on the line while holding the locks. She told me to keep doing what I was doing, and that she was sending the police. I waited on the line with her until the police arrived. It felt like hours, but it was only around 10 minutes. I told them what had happened. Because the person was threatening and I feared for my safety, I was required to make a formal statement to the station. They told me they'd keep it on file. The officers spoke to the people in the neighborhood, and none of them heard me scream or saw anything, and they were used to the dogs going off at night. I found my keys around 2 meters from my car. I called my boss, and the officers followed me back to my work, where I signed out. I then followed them to the police station. I called my parents, and they took my statement. It was almost 1 a.m. when it was finally finished.
Dang.
This was a couple of months ago, but sometimes it feels like I'm going crazy. It was probably some asshole messing with me, but they just looked so curious, like they were studying me. Or they enjoyed watching me feel helpless and terrified. I still do deliveries, but I never leave my keys in the car.
Should never do that to begin with. Wow, that was kind of crazy. You know, the whole time I was thinking it was like a supernatural thing. I don't know why the cloak, and when he was first driving up on it, I thought it was like death. But it was a guy in a mask. If he wanted to like kill this guy so bad, why didn't he just break the window of the car? And why did he want to kill him so bad to begin with? Probably because he wasn't minding his own business.
Llama Arts. It's been a minute since we, you know,
Llama, you know, we got that.
During my holiday, I spent about 3 weeks in Japan. I arrived pretty late, so I couldn't check into the hotel that I initially booked. So I booked the cheapest hotel that I could find nearby.
Okay.
Aesthetically, it was quite nice, but it did have easy access to the building, meaning anyone could come in and go to any room as they please. Plus, there was no security in sight.
Oh, that's
After
not bad.
arriving in my room, I ordered some food and watched some TV.
That's
I
what you
was still
watching?
pretty jet-lagged from the flight, so I started to get ready for bed. As I was falling asleep, I felt the urge to double-check the door just to see if it was locked. I didn't think anything was going to happen, but I'd rather be safe than sorry.
Thank you!
About 5 minutes after I checked the door, I heard footsteps outside. Initially, I thought it was someone leaving their room, but the footsteps started to pick up speed. The sounds started getting louder and louder, and I started to freak out a little.
Maybe they ain't
All
footsteps.
of a sudden, the sound stopped. I looked at the light shining through the bottom of my door, and there was a shadow of a person. At first, I thought it was room service, but it was too late for that. Or maybe it was some drunk idiot who was at the wrong room.
Bruh.
As soon as I switched my light on, the shadow disappeared. I was confused, but I reluctantly went back to bed. That's when I suddenly heard scratching coming from my door.
What?
So I immediately turned my light on and shouted, "Who's there?" After a moment of silence, I heard the footsteps slowly fade away. At this point, I was thinking it could...
He in Japan too. Probably don't know a lick of Japanese. I'm like, Dare desu ka? Dare! Jisu wa kirei na hoteru da yo.
I was thinking it could be some kids messing around, so I got up, opened the door, and peeked my head outside. I glanced in both directions down the dark and slim hallways. That's when my heart stopped.
Bro.
A man emerged from the darkness and ran erratically towards me. His face was contorted as he screamed, and I could see he was holding a knife in his right hand.
Close the door!
As he got closer, I could see him more clearly. He had disgusting long, dirty hair. His clothes were ripped, and he had cuts and bruises all over. I quickly slammed my door and pressed against it, praying that the man would just go away. After what felt like hours, I finally gathered my courage and looked through the peephole. He was gone.
Oh my god.
I let out a sigh of relief and checked the peephole again. My heart started pumping faster than ever before. He was right in front of the door. He was wearing a maniacal smile on his face, and all of a sudden he raised his knife and yelled, "I'm gonna kill you!"
What?
I jumped back and kept my eyes
He's a
locked
regular
on the
white
bottom of
dude?
the door as I backed up to my bed. I grabbed my phone and started dialing the police. As I raised the phone to my ear, I saw that the shadow was gone. When the police arrived, I tried to explain what happened, and they checked the security cameras. They almost immediately recognized the man. He had been doing this to people for a while now, and the police had been trying to track him down for months. After a long night of no sleep, I finally arrived at the right hotel that I had booked initially in Tokyo.
Thank you.
That creepy guy was still on my mind, but I thought the chances of him being here were pretty slim, so I didn't bother locking my door that night.
What is wrong with
At 12:05 a.m., I woke up to a big bang next to me. I turned around to see the same guy passed out on the floor, with a knife in hand. I was in shock.
Are you?
How did he find me? I quickly ran out of the room and locked him inside.
How you lock him
Cops
inside the
came
room?
and he was finally arrested. Let's just say I'm always going to be locking my doors from now on.
Bro, we thought you was smart in the beginning. And you're like, yeah, there's no way he could know where I am. I'ma just leave the door unlocked, even though it's literally zero work to lock the door. Alright, you guys, hopefully you enjoyed another Spooky Scary Sunday. Please go on Twitter, hashtag Spooky Scary Sunday, at coryxkenshin. Send me some more scary videos. This week was pretty nice if I do say so myself. So if you enjoyed, be sure to slice that like button.
Hey, I'm home.
Uh-oh.
Where is everyone?
They're home. I'll see y'all next week.